Hey, this is Nigel Pitcairn with Corporate Correct, and today I want to talk about operating your LLC. Now, what happens is a lot of times people will set up an LLC or a corporation for that matter, and they're only file the annual list, if that. Sometimes people miss that. And the problem with this is that when it comes to the protection that your LLC offers, that if you do not run it like a separate individual entity from yourself, the courts will look at it as just an alter ego of yourself. Especially if you're a single member LLC, this can become very prevalent where they say there's really no separation between you and your LLC. So operating your LLC like a separate entity is absolutely critical. Some of the things you need to do to make sure that you're operating your LLC when you're operating an LLC as a separate entity is make sure that you hold meeting minutes and document the meeting minutes. You have meetings whether you realize it all the time. And what you actually need to do is you need to sit down and document that. So example is, if you want to buy a new photocopier, you want to buy a new truck, you want to buy a new piece of equipment, you want to enter into a new contract with another business, or you decide you want to start carrying a new product, these are all decisions that have to be documented inside the LLC. So how you do this is you just hold a simple meeting. Inside your, if it's an LLC, it's going to be your operating agreement. You go in there and it will say, hopefully you have an operating agreement. Some states don't require operating agreements, but it is a very good idea to have an attorney draft you an operating agreement. So anyway, you look in your operating agreement and you will see how you're supposed to hold a meeting, whether you're supposed to send notices, how much time in advance, and all that. So after you take care of all that, or you can hold a unanimous written consent, and a lot of people do this in LLCs, but the important thing is that you're actually physically recording on paper and voting and signing that you've made these decisions. Because what will happen is after time, if you ever get into a lawsuit or the IRS comes knocking on your door, they're going to subpoena your corporate records book. And that basically means the court is going to take your corporate records book and the other person's attorney, they're going to say, look, they're not running a real LLC. They set this up as a sham. It's an alter ego of the owner or owners, and we want to pierce the corporate veil and be able to go after the owners personally. So really quick, a good way to do this is to hold meetings and record the minutes, pass the resolutions to make it official. There's a lot more in this area, but operating an LLC, the most important thing you can do to keep your protection and keep all the benefits you associate with an LLC is to make sure that you hold and document your meetings. And that is just a really good foundation to build off of. And stay tuned because I will go into more of the items that you need to do when operating your LLC. Have a great day. Bye.